We're on our way to Kurri Kurri in New South Wales. It's about 2 hours north of Sydney, a bit under an hour west of Newcastle, about 10 minutes out of Cessnock. There's a few sort of towns in the area. We'll also be visiting Weston today, I think, which is right next door to Kurri Kurri. It's the first video we've done on the channel for quite a long time. We'll hopefully be doing more like this in the future. The plan is to do more of a deep dive into the places we visit, just learning a bit more about what makes them tick. I'll go through some statistics for areas and things like that, but also show you not just the pretty pictures, but things related to history and stuff like that we find interesting. Whenever we visit anywhere, even when we've been overseas, we like to, get out and wander around and actually learn a bit about the place we're staying in, rather than just visit your basic touristy stuff. We've done that in Manhattan. I think the second time we visited New York, we walked what felt like halfway around the island for would have been over 4 hours, visiting, not really with any plan in mind, but just to get a real feel for the place. So that's our plan. It's the CBD of Kurri Kurri just out to the left there. It seems funny talking about Manhattan and Kurri Kurri in the one video, but I guess the concept is the same. I'm just going to drive around the back of the town and drive through. We're going to do part of what we'll be doing will just be filming us driving around areas. We'll visit some local streets later as well, have a look at the real estate. We will get out of the car and go for a wander a bit later. Looks like a burnt out building ahead of us. So there's about 6,000 people, a bit over 6,000 people live in Kurri Kurri. It's an old coal mining town, so there's just the petrol prices there, fuel prices. Old coal mining town, which makes it, a very working class area, or formerly working class area. The main thing I know about is actually relates to sport. It's produced quite a few good rugby league players, internationals. I think the Johns brothers, I don't think they're from this town. I think they're from Cessnock, but they did actually live here. And I believe Andrew Johns played for the Kurri Kurri under-16s at one stage. Paul Harrigan, I think, is from Kurri Kurri, who was a Newcastle Knights captain, played for Australia. So historically there's been quite a few. That's the Workers Club we're just going past now. It actually closed down in 2017 and then was burnt down about 4 or 5 years later. You'll actually notice there's lots of murals around town. We'll get out and have a closer look at those a bit later. Kind of reminds me a bit of Townsville in North Queensland. The town's got, I can't remember the number, it's like 20 or 30 murals painted on walls around town, which we had a look at, which is very interesting. Thing up ahead there on the left is the police station. We're just going to go around the roundabout and go back through town. As you can see, it's quite small. We're here on a Saturday. It's just after 9. So it's there's a few people out and about, but it's quietish, I guess. I would imagine locals. There is a Coles here the Coles supermarket that we passed just back a bit. The locals may go to Cessnock or even Maitland or somewhere to do their weekly shopping. Okay, we're going to just head around this way and we will park shortly. We'll probably have a walk through the that park that you could see. We did notice there's lots of fish and chip shops in Kurri Kurri. Interestingly, considering the time on a Saturday morning, they all seem to be open. I guess maybe they sell coffee and stuff like that as well. So there's a Coal Brown Rotary Park in the middle of town. We're going to have a walk through it shortly. The town was founded in about 1902, I think. So some of the buildings, not really old, but oldish. So there's a bit of history in the architecture. This over here is like a community wall. It's full of plaques and things just related to the town. I'm not 100% sure of the idea behind it. Seemed like maybe just people that were able to put a plaque on the wall sort of telling their history or the history of the town. Around this you can see the names of some of the other towns in the area. They're all sort of right next to each other. Yeah, so they have these plaques just talking about, I guess, their relationship to the town, which I actually really like. As a visitor, it makes it really interesting when a town provides you its history in ways like this, so you can actually get an understanding of the place. That's obviously, I guess, a prominent family in the area. The next one I'm going to show you is, I think it's Bert James, who I know is a federal politician. This area, for those into politics, both federally and state, has always been a Labor Party seat. For those not in Australia, Labor Party is I guess what used to be the working class party. Still considered the more left-leaning of the two major parties. You can see this public toilets with murals drawn around the walls, painted on the walls. It's the most attractive public toilet I think I've ever seen. I have to be a bit careful filming this because filming public toilets is probably frowned upon. So we'll probably move on from this pretty quick. There's the big kookaburra. We love big stuff in Australia. It's quite a good, what would you call it, statue? So it was unveiled, what does that say, 2009.
Good boys.
I've got these other sort of statues in this park, as I said, relating to the coal mining history. As you can see on this, it said that it once was a home to 23 or 28 pits employing 11,000 men, and that the date that this was put up in 1992 there was only one coal mining pit left. This is dedicated to the pit horses, which is interesting. I like it when we respect the contribution that animals make to our society in various ways, particularly dogs, but also horses and other things. There's the mural on the Workers' Club. We sort of looked at this as we drove past. It's a pretty serious mural, so these things aren't just, pretty pictures. This is, I assume, Gallipoli. There's a guy there with what looks like his arm blown off and maybe a leg. As I say, it's not just pretty pictures, it's pretty serious sort of public mural. This is an Anzac Memorial. Interesting, you see on the left there's a whole lot of names. That's from World War One, whereas on the right there was World War Two. Look at the effect that World War One would have had on small towns like this, with how many young men and women were lost. It's a Kurri Kurri hotel. Pubs are important to country towns. I think this one was built about the time the town opened, like within a couple of years, so it's got a long history. We'll show you a few more of the murals as we walk around, but because there's quite a lot, we'll probably just add them into the video at the end so we can show you all the ones that we don't talk about specifically. Just walking along the main street here. Tell you a bit more about the town. So the median age is 38, which is a bit younger than New South Wales. 34% of people are married, that's low. Nationwide it's almost 50%. Education is only about 7% of people have a degree, which is very low. It's 26% nationwide.
It's a good name for a takeaway food place. Yeah. Kurri Kurri.
A higher level than nationwide have been to TAFE, which would make sense for, I guess, for a more working class sort of town. It's very much a Australian town, not a whole heap of migrants. 89% of the people here were born in Australia, whereas Australia-wide it's 67%. And the background of most people, the ethnic background, is basically British or Australian. There are some Indian people, I think some people from the Philippines, but the percentages are very, very low compared to much of the rest of Australia. 40% of the town's not working. That's people over 15. 6.7% unemployment rate. Australia-wide it's about 5%, so the unemployment rate's higher. There's another one of their serious murals. This was a sort of an uprising, I think, by coal miners back in the 20s or 30s, I think it was. So on the mural does show a couple of people that were killed or badly hurt as part of the riot. Again, they don't worry too much about, making the murals pleasing. It's simply recording their history. Where are we? Yes, 1929 to 1930. We're going to jump in the car and check out a bit more of town. And as I said, we'll head over to Weston and we're going to look at some of the local streets. Okay, we're just driving around some of the streets of Weston now. Just going to look at some of the housing. So believe the median house price is about 580,000, which sort of seems highish. However, there are actually, the street we're going down now is on the lower end of the pricing spectrum. See a lot of weatherboard houses, which I quite like. But there are some areas around here that are actually quite expensive, but they have much bigger blocks, so that obviously pushes up the median house price. Very tidy though around here. I've been very impressed by how tidy the town is. It's not, in this day and age, sometimes country towns are not doing great, which I guess then some people were perhaps not, too house proud or anything like that. But around here, like, all the streets are tidy, the houses are all well looked after, the lawns are all mowed. I mean, it's tidier here than where I live. And, where I live has much higher housing prices than around here. You can see mostly it's houses, there's not many units around this area, although there are some, which most of them would be sort of retirement type places. The housing prices are steady, as I said, about 580,000 median. I think it's been pretty steady the last 12 months. Unit prices are actually dropping a bit at the moment. Interestingly, the expensive area is very close to this. When I looked at it on the map, it looked like it's about a kilometre away, but there's actually no roads connecting. You have to go almost right back out to almost to the highway to go around to get to where the expensive houses are. Apart from the first house we passed, as I said, they're all nice and tidy. The first house we passed was a bit messier. Yeah, there are some newer brick places, but yeah, a lot of older weatherboard houses. Church. We did pass earlier, which was on the other side of the road to where the camera is. We passed a Freemasons building. I'm not sure what they're referred to. I don't actually know a whole lot about the Freemasons, but there are a few Freemasons buildings in this town, which is interesting. In this particular area, this Freemason building is perhaps the most interesting looking of the buildings around. Just go through some of the crime stats for the area as well. So the assault rate here is on the high side, about 1,500 per 100,000 people. New South Wales wide it's 900, so it's higher. In the last 12 months, I think I saw there were no homicides. Robberies, 48 out of 100,000, which is over double the New South Wales average. Drug arrests is low, so about half of the New South Wales average. On the high side, here's the Masonic Centre, that's right, that's what it's called. It's an interesting looking building. Domestic violence is on the high side, 770 per 100,000 people. New South Wales wide is 445. Okay, as I said, we're visiting where the more expensive houses are. As you can see, these are big blocks. I think in my brief research, the only one what I thought was the most expensive house in the area is on this street. But it's a big block. I think it was like 8,000 square metres or something. So it's not like it's a farm, but it's a, pretty decent sized block. I think a few people who live down here are running businesses out of them. It's a nice little spot, as I say, not that far from where the lower priced houses are. I think the highest priced house that I could find went for just under 2 million. So as you can see, my guess would be that pretty much everything on this street is over $1 million given the size of the properties. And we're not that far from Newcastle, so there could be people who commute to Newcastle who live out here, so they've got a bit more peace and quiet, a bit of space. But yeah, there are a lot of properties that have been selling for, 1.4, 1.5 million, as I say, up to the highest, which was just under 2 million. I don't think we can actually show you that one. I got a feeling because it's right back towards the beginning of this street. I think we will go past it, but you can't see that much of it. See, all of these ones are quite open, but I'm pretty sure if it's the one I'm thinking of, then it had trees and bushes and lots of things, so it was a bit hard to see. I've just got the camera mounted on the side of the car, so we're not trying to hold it so we can drive safely. That's why it's vibrating slightly. I have to excuse my voice as well. I've got a little bit of a cold, so my voice is a bit gravelly. We're just going to turn around and head back. I think the main thing I'm really getting from this area, this Kurri Kurri and this Weston, I really like how they've not celebrate, but the way they embrace their history, the good and the bad. So it means we can actually come and visit. I don't think I said at the start, but I don't believe I've ever been here before, and I'm not sure I've even driven past it. I mean, I've been to Cessnock, I've been to Maitland, which is nearby, I've been to the Hunter Valley, but I don't believe I've ever been here. But you can come and look at the murals and all that sort of thing. I think one of these houses is the really expensive one. It could even be that one. You can look at the murals and actually get a real understanding for the area and for the people. I think that's a really good thing, the way they've done that. This is just looking back over towards town. We're going to finish up, as I said, with just the rest of the murals. I think we'll just do those as a montage for you. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and as I say, we will be looking to do more of these in the future, so please subscribe if you're interested in seeing more. We do have a planned trip to South Australia and to Queensland coming up in the next few months.